Welcome to the Don Hanston Show. Our hosts are going to push the limits, but create an environment where it's safe to uncover the crap that holds you back so you can survive the mediocrity of today's life. And they'll be admitting and revealing their own experiences so you can learn the skills and attitude you need to be who you are. Warning to all listeners, if you have thin skin and get offended easily by harsh, direct, or somewhat offensive content and language, then this podcast may be overwhelming. However, we believe pulling your blinders off and viewing things from a real perspective may feel invigorating and may be the very thing that may cause you to expand your capabilities. Now here's your host, Don.
Hello, and thank you for joining us today at the Straight Up Don Hanston Show. And we're here with Sal, and we're going to have a great show for you today. Sal, what do you got?
How you doing, Don? Well, we have a lot going on since we last been together. Obviously, the news has changed. We have Trump in the office for a little bit over 30 days, and so far he is doing everything he has said he was going to do, and then some. So we have a lot to talk about today. We could start out with talking about Doge, Elon Musk, and Trump going through all the employees and laying people off and firing people and going through all that, and the left is completely losing their mind. I know you wanted to talk about Doge a little bit, Don.
Yeah, I mean, the people that are against Doge, right? They say, well, we didn't elect Elon Musk, okay? Number one, Elon Musk isn't taking any money. Number two, Elon Musk is giving us as citizens our money back, okay? So I don't understand what the problem is. Plus, there's a lot of idiots that we've had when the left was in there that we didn't elect either, and all they were doing was sucking our money dry. Anyways, so from what I've seen thus far, they've already got like $55 billion? $55 billion.
Yes, I believe so.
And that's only in like 14 days or something. So that number is going to dramatically go up. I think the people that are resistant and the people that are coming after, like Doge and trying to, put a wedge between Trump and Musk and all this, are actually the recipients of the money that they're stealing from us, okay? So it's stolen from us. Why would you be going after the person that's trying to find the money that's stolen from you if it's stolen from you? Unless, of course, you are the recipient at one way or another, whether you're a crooked politician or you hold the purse strings for a foundation and you're kicking money back. Whatever you're doing, the only reason you'd go against somebody that's finding the crooks and finding the stolen money to give it back to you is if you are the crook, okay? So that's, I mean, in a generic sense, that's what I say. And then you have people that watch too much TV and I didn't realize people still watch the lamestream media, but the people that watch the lamestream media, they're like cheering on these people that have no brain cells between their ears. And what they're doing is they're stirring them up, and they're like, we got to get rid of Musk, and and all our government employees are losing their jobs. Well, I'll be honest with you. If I own a business and it's going downhill, and I'm losing money left and right, and I'm going in debt, and I continue to employ all the people that work for me, I am beyond stupid. I should just shoot myself in the head, because anyone with a business would have to downsize and have to cut and find out where all the excess money is going in order to continue in business. So that's kind of what I got to say about that.
Well, I agree with all that, but there's two factors to this Doge thing. We have people getting ticked off, like you said, just as of recently, because Elon Musk sent out an email that you need to let him know and CC your manager. I had someone who was interested in learning that if they were, using the chain of command of 5 things that you did last week, basically to justify your job. And people were getting very upset with that. And there was one girl who said she's had no time. They only gave her 3 days, but yet she had time to book herself on CNN and do an interview complaining about it. So you have that aspect of it, and you have the Doge aspect of the spending. Like I have here, one of the things, $2.5 million for electric vehicles in Vietnam. That was just one that stood out. That's one that we've been paying for. So there's like 2 aspects of Doge that's been going on, and Musk, he's finding everything. And getting back to what you said about the lamestream media, or the mainstream media, recently YouGov amidst.com poll came out, and they asked people, how much do you trust or have confidence in the media? 67% said not much or none at all right now. That's astronomical. So the word's getting out there. The media is starting to figure this out, that the people don't want to hear the BS anymore. You know, you're talking about a 67% of people polled saying they don't trust the media. That's terrible numbers. And I think it's reflecting in the ratings for CNN and MSNBC, leading to, you know, people losing their job, like Joy Reid. I mean, the other day, she's on TV crying that she's thinking they got rid of her because of the color of her skin and everything.
It's always about that, with these people. Yeah.
No, her average viewers for a night was 59,000 people, which is terrible. And like you said, Don, you own a business, you know, like the guy who runs and owns Comcast. Why would you keep someone on there that's not pulling in the numbers? I mean, that's the whole name of the game. So
and they're making a lot of money. They're making a lot of money on top of that. How much do you think she's getting paid for that? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. I think a few million per episode. But I predict that Rachel Maddow is going to go next, because she came on her show the other night basically saying that the big shots at MSNBC, her bosses, let Joy Reid go because of the color of her skin, and said we had two black hosts that lost her job, because there was another girl who did weekends that covered. She was a black girl too, who lost her job. So Rachel Maddow's going on saying that Comcast got rid of them because they were black. So what do you think that's going to do to Rachel Maddow? I'm sure the bosses are going to, I bet you she's going to be next.
Right. I mean, you know, that whole race thing has been played out for so many years, and especially in the last 4 years, it's been overplayed. People are tired of it. You know what? It gets back to accountability. Do you do a good job? Do you have some viewers? Are you increasing viewership? It's not even keeping the same viewership. If you're doing a good job, you should be increasing viewership, okay? And if you're not, you need to figure out why, okay? And it's obvious. And then when they come up with excuses why, okay, well, and you know, I'll go one further than that. I'll go, they're not making money based on their viewership, okay? They were making money based on them pushing agendas, okay? The governmental money, I mean, who do you think runs the medias, owns the medias, okay? It's all these idiots that basically are stealing all the money from our government, right? It's all these big shots. So, you know, they run that lamestream media. It's pushing the agendas, and it's been trying to create this woke culture and destructive, you know, unaccountability for America and the world. And it's all comes from the same people. When they talk about trickle down, I get a kick out of that. Trickle down is what it is trickle down destruction, okay? They're destructing from the puppeteers are pulling on the strings, and they're stealing money from us, and then they're paying different people to figure out how to indoctrinate all of us through, you know, or hypnotize us or brainwash us through the medias, through the schools, through, like we've talked about in all these shows. Our kids are being indoctrinated, right? And then people, anybody who watches TV that really, no offense, I mean, I'm sure there's really good people to watch TV, but a lot of this TV stuff, if you got a little bit of brain power and you're not brainwashed, you can see that they're directing you in a very bad way, and our money is being used for that. So getting back to the Doge thing is going to be taking all that money off the plate of these people that are paying for our destruction. So I think it's, all in all, it's a really good thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, the money that they were spending, and that's the other thing I don't understand, why the Democrats, they're upset. They're outside singing songs and protesting, smaller numbers every day, about all the spending. You know, $32,000 for a comic book, a trans comic book in Vietnam. Why are we paying for all this stuff? But they have a problem with it. And my personal feeling is, and I'm sure it's going to come out, is they had an interest in that because I'm thinking some kickbacks were going on. You know, you tell a guy that, hey, I'm going to get you, you know, $5 million for your cause, but the guy ends up getting like $3 million, and the kickback goes $2 million back to the politician. So that's the only reason I could think that all these Democrats want Musk to leave, which they're also complaining that Musk wasn't elected. I know we talked about that earlier, Don. But, you know, the president has a lot of power to assign anybody he wants to.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny. I truly believe that a lot of these elected officials, okay, that are worth. I was just listening to a podcast about the Nancy Pelosi. There was an app that followed all the trading that the Pelosi's did.
Yeah.
Okay, and you want to beat all the best. Hedge fund managers, you got to follow the Pelosi trading system, and it's insider trading and everything else. But where I was going with this was, I believe, well, not only are they worth hundreds of billions of dollars, or millions. I don't really know what the numbers are, but they're ridiculous, the numbers of these people. But I believe that their lifestyles are based on the money, on the income that they get, like you say, kickbacks and everything else, insider trading, all of the stealing from us, right? You got a schmuck like me, and you put X amount of dollars in the stock market, and you made some pretty good, moves as far as investments and strategies and everything else, and you get knocked out of the box because you got these knuckleheads they're making laws, and then they're doing insider trading, and they're just sucking our money out. And then, so I'm paying for, not only are they stealing money above board through politics, but they're doing all this insider trading. So all the money I invest basically goes to remodel Nancy Pelosi's bathrooms and shit. So it's just, the whole thing is just disgusting. And I am so glad that Doge is going after everyone. And anyone that doesn't like it is part of the problem. And that's what it boils down to.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you have someone like Nancy Pelosi and some of the others. Let's say they make $250,000 a year, but their net worth is like $6, $7, $10, $15 million.
I think I just listened to something. Their net worth is just exceeded $250 million.
And how could that be if you only make $200,000 a year?
175, yeah, exactly.
So everywhere you look.
One thing I sent it over to you guys, and I was looking at it when Trump was talking about the Social Security system on the people that they're still paying out, and it's mind blowing. I mean, the amounts of people that are above between the age of 120 and 360 years old, where there's still payments going out, and it's not just a few people. It's unbelievable. As a matter of fact, it's
like 8,000, isn't it? Something like that.
No, it's 110 to 119. There's 3,600,000. 120 to 129. There's 3.4 million. 130 to 139 is 3.9 million. 140 to 149 is 3.5 million. It goes on and on and on and on, and then it goes to the biggest one. There's only one person that's still alive between the age of 360 and 369. So the moral to the story is there's millions of checks going out for Social Security where there's no such person. So who does all this money going to?
Someone's getting those checks, right?
Exactly. So it's all
good
like
idea.
If you just look at the amounts of people, I don't even know. Like I would say over 100. There's got to be 50 million people above 100 years old that are getting Social Security checks. So, like, that's all money that's coming from us.
Yeah.
How many people do you know over 100 years old?
I think the record is 122 from years ago.
I think Trump said there was 127. There was one years ago.
Yeah.
But it's like one out of, how
well,
many
I feel
people?
bad for the poor guy that's almost 360 years old now. His Social Security check's going to be gone.
Yeah, I know.
I'm thinking he has bigger problems. If he's 360 years old, he has bigger problems than when his next Social Security check is coming.
Oh, my God. Anyway, I thought that was really interesting. Go ahead.
Those numbers are crazy, and I couldn't believe them when they came out. And I know Trump came out and even told the media that. And so far, I haven't heard anybody on the left disputing that because, I mean, really, how could you?
You
Are you going
can't.
to sit there and prove that somebody's over 200 years old? You're just not going to be able to do it. But he is trying to get rid of the deficit, which is in the trillions. And just before we went live on the air, it was reported that Trump has now started a new I forget what you call it, but a new procedure that if you want to fast track and come to this country and be a resident, there's a gold card you can get from the government that'll fast track you, but it'll cost you $5 million. So he's thinking there's going to be a lot of people that want to fast track, maybe rich people that want to come in and be citizens here. $5 million a pop. So he's doing everything he can to try to bust down this deficit. And honestly, I think it's a good idea.
Well, you bring in some rich people that bring money to the country, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You gotta get rid of the people that are the takers, the people that are the deficits, right? Mm-hmm. Even if you own your own business and you write everything off and you don't pay any money, very little money in, you're not a deficit. It's the guy that doesn't put any money in and is collecting all this money. Those are the people. I mean, unless you're like, military, that's been, injured in war or retired, people that should be taken care of, need to be taken care of. But it's really unfortunate because they're not. They're basically what they want to do is they want to give away money so they got more voters for the lefties. And yeah. I mean, it's really sad, but the people that should be taken care of, the disabled veterans, how about those people? Those people get screwed.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they got kicked out of the hotels and everything for the migrants to come in, illegal aliens, which that is all stopped too in New York.
Right.
Their debit cards, their 3 meals a day, their free health care, free education, free phones. If you had kids, free diapers, free formula. All that has stopped now because of Mayor Adams. And, the DOJ is not going to pursue Mayor Adams for the charges that he was accused of, and now the Democrats are ticked off, and I don't know if it's Nancy Hochul, she's the governor of New York, she wants to get rid of Adams now because of this. Mm-hmm. She wants him to go. She wants to just sign something and have him not be the mayor of New York City anymore. But, I think the party's over for a lot of these people, and the Democrats are just losing their mind. And you know what? They're not learning their lesson either. They're still going the same way they were. You would think by now they would at least, we don't even have a projected leader of the left yet for 28. I mean, the only people they have really floated out there rumor-wise is Kamala Harris and AOC for running in '08, which Mike Johnson is like, oh, please, I hope so. They don't have a leader, but they're not learning their lesson. They're still spewing their same rhetoric. That's false. They're going after Musk, saying he's not elected. Either was Fauci, either was Mayorkas, the borders are, under Biden. And the FBI guy, Garland, you had Garland in there. They weren't elected. But, because Trump's appointing his people now, well, now it's not right. But, they're very hypocritical. So
it's crazy, and I was watching that clip about it was actually on the news, but I saw a clip on it again too. It reminded me when Trump was doing a speech and he had all the governors, and he's like, you guys are gonna have to follow what I've put in the law, otherwise you're not going to get federal funding. And he reads on there, he's like, Maine, is the governor of Maine here? And she says, yeah, I'm here. And he said, are you not going to comply? And she says, oh, state and federal laws. He goes, well, we are federal, so you better get in line or you lose in federal funding. And she's like, see you in court. And he's like, good. I'm looking forward to it. That'll be an easy one. And good luck to you after governor, because you'll never be elected again. And I was just like, wow, I love how bold this guy is. Like, just go at these people. And like, I think it's necessary. I think these people think that they could do no wrong because that's how they've been operating for the last, I don't know how many years,
Yeah, and they're trying to appease their side. But I think she's in her 80s anyways, so I doubt she's even going to go anywhere anyways. But yeah, you're right. And he'll go to court because he'll win that every day if it goes to the Supreme Court.
How do you not follow federal law and then expect federal grants, right? I mean, it's ridiculous. But I like how he's a ball buster.
No federal funding. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to screw themselves. And then another story on, and there was a clip on it about him being a ball buster, was he was talking to a translator between him and the leader of the Taliban. And he said, we want to leave Afghanistan. And the guy he tells the translator, he's like, tell him if he harms a hair on an American that I will kill him. And he hands him a satellite photo of the guy's house with his whole family. And he shows it to him, and the translator tells him, yeah, he said he'll kill you if you harm one hair on an American. I mean, that's the kind of shit that we need. I mean, we need our safety. He's doing what I've been saying forever in all of these shows, and he's been saying exactly what I say. And the reason for our government is to keep us safe and to keep our economy strong. And he's working on those two things. All this other bullshit is a bunch of bullshit, you know, religions and people having babies and all this other stuff. I don't agree with any of that. What's important is our economy and our safety. That's it. That's why they're there.
Yeah. Well, that's everybody's role in politics, especially for the governors and the mayors. I mean, you look at Governor Pritzker in Illinois. I mean, his main job is to protect his people. And he's not. He wants to protect the illegal alien criminals, which he says he's going to do. Which, now I think per the law, he doesn't have to help ICE. But he can't get in the way. That would be obstruction of justice. But he doesn't have to help them. He could tell the state police, we are not going to help the federal agents. I think that's legal. That would be fine. But you can't obstruct them by hiding the people and also... like what was happening,
telling them how to avoid, right?
Yeah, giving them the inside scoop of when they're coming, because it's very dangerous for the police officers, the ICE, and everything. And that's what's been happening. And they just arrested some people in New York for doing it. I think Kristi Noem is heading that up because she's in charge of Homeland Security. But I mean, and you got like Brandon Johnson in Chicago, that mayor. Which, by the way, a recent I don't know if you heard his recent approval rating numbers.
Is it like 6.8 or something?
8%. 8% approval rating. That guy is done. I'm surprised they're not going to run him out sooner because I still think he has a few more years left on his term. But
I mean, crazy. They're not for the people. These people,
No.
like even California, right? You look at the knuckleheads out there, right? You got Newscomb and you got all those Pelosi, all those idiots are out there. The mayor of Los Angeles let it burn down. She's vacationing in Africa. All these idiots. Okay, they're not for the people. They don't give a shit about you. And if you think that they give a shit about you, you need to rethink things. Because being in Illinois here with Pritzker, Johnson as the mayor, I mean, these people do not care about anyone but themselves, and they're getting kickbacks and they're stealing money, and it's just it's the breeding ground for scum is what it is. Okay.
Well, Newsom just asked for 50 billion, 40 or 50 billion from Trump to help rebuild, but I think there's going to be some stipulations put on that. I don't know what he's going to do yet, but he's begging for money now, And that Mayor Blass, you're right, she needs to go. But I did hear she did finally, because I know I talked about this last month, a few episodes ago, that she fired that fire chief. But I guess she didn't at the time. She was considering it, but in the last couple of days, she did fire that fire chief. So, but I don't know why that mayor isn't gone. She wasn't even there. She knew what was going on. And now they want the government, us, to help bail them out. They didn't do anything to prevent it. But, I mean, this is the way it's been going. There's been so much going on in the news the last month. I can't keep up with it because Trump is just signing stuff every day.
You cannot read. I don't watch shit, and I don't really have anything to do with the media, but I cannot read fast enough. Okay, I'll read one article and there'll be another article that will supersede the article that I am just finishing reading. I'm like, your head's spinning. There's so much going on, and it's so much corruption. And now the corrupt people are running like chickens with their heads cut off because they don't know what to do. Because I think that they know that they're next. They're going to go down.
Definitely,
they're going down.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and they're on the wrong side now, but they're going to still fight and stomp their feet, and we'll see what happens. And we'll see what happens in 2 years when the midterms come up.
So I have an interesting perspective, okay? So you got all these people, and you know, and I know, and probably most of our listeners know, all these people that are very corrupt, okay? And the ones that are now on Trump's side, I believe they're the ones that they were guilty in the first place, but they're cooperating with him so they don't go up the river, right? I mean, I even think like that Zuckerberg, right? I you know, with the Facebook, I think a lot of these politicians that are coming over, and all of a sudden they're saying, yeah, Trump's our president and this and that, and you know, I'm late to the party and all this. But I think because there's so much corruption on them, they don't want to go to jail. They don't want to have their homes auctioned. They don't want all these bad things to happen. So they say, in lieu of that, he probably put it out there. In lieu of that, then you need to cooperate with us and turn in all these other scumbags. And I think that they're all starting to turn on each other because there's a lot of people that were completely anti-Trump that all of a sudden now, if you read, and I read a lot, all of a sudden they're like, you know, I apologize, I'm late to the party, he's really good, he's common sense, politics, you know, we all should really get behind him, and Musk is doing a great job. Where even a month ago, they weren't saying that. So it's kind of funny, but I think it's very apparent that they're actually cooperating, and I think that Trump's allowing it because the swamp is so deep. Where do you begin? You got to let people cooperate that are going to cooperate, and the people that don't cooperate, those are the ones you send up the river without a paddle, right? Or down the river without a paddle, whatever the saying is. But the thing is I think he's given them an option to cooperate because some of these big fish can turn in a lot of the other ones.
Yeah.
And I think that's how it's going right now. You know?
Yeah, I would think he'll get them to flip, and then they'll go. But like I said, there's still a lot in the party that are just, you know, they're digging in and they want to stay, and they're going to stay with their far left agenda, and they just don't get it. And it's like the host on CNN and MSNBC, like I was saying with that Joy Reid. I mean, she didn't see the writing on the wall. She's still going out there calling, you know, a lot of the problems that happen, you know, because of the white man. He's the biggest enemy, you know, to the country, the white men. She's talking about white tears and everything. Right. She didn't see it coming. She dug in, and now look, then she's on there a couple of days ago crying on her last show, saying that her show mattered. Well, guess what? It didn't matter. There's no way. It just didn't matter. But
so one thing I want to add to the show that we have a producer now. We're just working on getting him implemented so we can have him do all the stuffs behind the scenes. DJ Marcel, and he's awesome, and real soon you're going to really see some things come alive on this screen. So we're really happy to have him with us, and this is our first show back. So yeah, I mean, do you have anything else for the show?
No, there's a few other things, like there was a lot of sex chats that Tulsi Gabbard found, and a lot of those people are going to lose their jobs. There was something with Apple. If you talked to Siri and you said Trump, it changed the word to racist. Somebody in Apple's organization did that. I think Tim Cook's getting to the bottom of that. But, you know, the same old stuff. Ukraine I think Trump is signing a deal today with Ukraine because all the money we gave them. Trump says, well, you don't have to worry about the money, but you're going to make it up in, you know,
resources,
yes. The minerals and stuff like graphite and stuff.
Yeah.
So those were just some of the other little talking points that came up, but that's about it. We kept it light. There's so much going on, and by the next time we do the next show, there'll be probably 15 to 50 other topics that we could talk about. So, but I want to welcome Marcel too. He's been doing a great job, and I think we're very fortunate to have him on board. So I love it. I think it's great.
So, anyways, I think that wraps it up for today. We want to keep it nice and short, and so you guys can listen to this on your way to work, or on your way home from work, or when you got a lunch break. We don't want to make these things too long for you, and we really appreciate you guys following us, and if you could turn anybody on to us to watch us, that would be awesome. And
all right. Thanks.
Thanks for joining us.